Eyes by Dillane. The eyes are the organ in our body that allows us to capture information from light, such as colors, which forms images, which is what we see. Cameras and eyes are actually very similar, but we'll get to that later. First, we'll start off with listing the different parts of the eyes and how they are used to capture information. First off, we'll start with the cornea. This is the outermost part of the eye, and it's used for protection of the actual eye. Right after the cornea is the iris. This is the color part of our eye. Its job is to dilate the eye, which lets a certain amount of light come into the pupil. The iris surrounds the pupil, so it only makes sense that the pupil is next. Contrary to what most people believe, the pupil is actually just a hole, which leads to the lens. The pupil's job is to allow light to come in. Behind the pupil is the lens. The lens is what focuses the light onto the retina. Now we come to the retina. Although all parts of the eyes are important, the retina is probably the most important. This is because the retina is covered in photoreceptive nerves such as rods and cones. The rods and cones can detect light and color. Cones can detect color, while rods have a higher sensitivity to light. When the rods and cones gather these colors and the light, they form it into a code, which is sent to our optic nerve. The information is transmitted into an electrical impulse, which through our optic nerve travels through our brain. Once the electrical impulse reaches the brain automatically decodes it. This is the image we see. The only problem is it's upside down, so our brain automatically flips it upright so that we can see and walk normally. As I stated earlier, eyes and cameras are actually very similar. When the light comes into the lens on both parts, it reaches either the film or the retina, where the image is copied. Although cameras and eyes have this similarity, lasers do not. Although lasers also use light to capture information, such as their high concentrated beams, they do not record or keep information for others to be able to see afterwards. Lasers by Anna Sanchez and Anthony Mercer.
What is a laser? A laser is a little light that you just point in one direction. It's not a flashlight that spreads when shown. The word laser is actually an acronym standing for light amplification by stimulating the emission of radiation. A laser beam is a powerful beam of coherent light. The light from the laser has all the same wavelength. How it works. Laser light comes from a lasing medium that can be a solid, liquid, or gas. The atoms are pushed into excited state by energy source. The atoms release the energy that have received from it in its form of a photon, a single unit of energy, which it releases the energy and hits another atom. This process is repeated over and over again in a domino chain reaction. Inside of the tube where this is happening, there are mirrors at the ends of which the photons bounce back and forth. Once one of the mirrors is slitted a little bit so that a little bit of light can be released in a really high pressure. Lasers versus eyes. A laser points out things that the eye cannot see or it has missed. Lasers are used for many ways of forensics to help show evidence for a crime scene. These methods are laser fluorescence, used for finding fingerprints and materials not seen on a crime scene. Laser spectroscopy, used for measurements in things such as bullet trajectory. Some others are laser photography, ballistics, and DNA sequencing.
Cameras by Bianca Perez.
Cameras focus light onto film so that it can be made into a picture. Cameras have lens. Lenses are made of round pieces of glass or plastic that work together to focus light. It works just like the lens in our eyes. This is a shutter. When you press a button, it opens the shutter behind your lens. A shutter is a slide door that opens and closes very quickly, which is film, and it takes time to develop. The difference between a film camera and a digital camera is that a digital camera has a CCD. This is a CCD. A CCD is charged.
The information said in this video was originated from BrainProp videos, eyes, lasers, and cameras.